I went over to show them.
Sorry, it's DJ.
I think this is what people or a toy shop. A little bit cool about the situation. I think you actually been involved
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday. It's now 8:10. Technical issues in the house, namely my own tonight. Hope I'm not glitching like I was earlier. The youngling got a laptop and he was streaming, and the internet's not for streaming in my house at this time on a Thursday night. Anyway, hello. Hope you're all well. We're waiting on our guest tonight, Dilek, to connect. She's not, I think she's there now. She should be in the background shortly anyway. And we've got another chap coming on called Simon Weller to discuss one of his finds as well shortly. But to start the show, tonight we've not got any finds to show of consequence. So instead, let's look at the COVID-19 this week. So today, it's been announced that metal detecting in Scotland, basically, Scotland's First Minister announced move to phase one of the easing of the lockdown restrictions, which means that from tomorrow, various outdoor activities can take place. Metal detecting can therefore be carried out in Scotland within the current regulations relating to social distances, but strictly limiting to solo detecting. Detecting with a member of your own household or with one person. No group or club detecting as yet is permitted. Let's make that quite clear. Early in the week, I think it was actually yesterday, the NCMD received a response from the Welsh Department of Culture and Sport confirming that detecting can be carried out in Wales within standard exercise rules. So before you rush out, please remember to check the landowner and content to continue to provide permission at this times. Basically the same rules that I've just said with Scotland. Finally, and I'm going to have to share the screen because we need people to see this. Now, there's been a lot of malarkey going on in the past week, arguments and such like about people going out metal detecting and a rally. So I'm going to share the screen and we're going to revert to the government website. And let's just make one thing clear straight away, that it does say, there we go, as of the 13th of May, we're able to spend limited time outdoors, etc., etc. Where are we? Let me just find it. So, being outside. There you go. Section being outside, section 2. Now, this is on the Gov UK guidance on searching for archaeological finds in England during COVID-19. Step 1, you can be outside with members of your household or with one other person from outside your household while keeping 2 meters apart at all time, which I've done today. Step 2, to ensure people are socially distancing, the government has prohibited by law all public gatherings of more than 2 people. Group or club searches and rallies are therefore prohibited. Now, things might change next week where up to 10 people can gather. I think it was 10, might have been 6. But at this time, for all those people who are organising rallies, it is currently prohibited. Now, I'm not being an arse. I'm just telling you what the government guidelines are because, hey, we don't want arguments. We don't want malarkey. We certainly don't want the hobby brought into a bad light again. So please reconsider when it comes to rallies. And there's my rant. It was a little rant. Anyway, a bit of COVID information for you there. So, hi, Dave and all. I'm just curious to know why you are wearing a simple cap so much on your pods. Simplex, darling, but I am simple. Good evening, everyone in the viewership. Nice to have you all here tonight. As I said earlier, tonight's guest will be Dilek Gonualy from Nokta Makro. We'll be discussing lots of things in length. And also, we'll be bringing Simon Weller into the fold. So, Luke, I think it's time to introduce our first guest this evening, if you may. I'm waiting patiently. There we are. And it's Simon Weller. Now, Simon, I'll let you briefly introduce yourself because I don't think we've been acquainted per se.
Well, I'm Simon Weller. I've been detecting about 18 months now. Had a nice find yesterday with a Nokta Makro machine. So, which I'm hoping to show you soon.
So what machine are you using, Simon?
I'm using the Amphibio at the moment, but I use the Simplex as well. So normally when I go out, I'll take the Simplex and the Amphibio out. I normally do like half a day on each.
Right.
So, because I love them both. So.
And you've used other machines, but why now are you using the Nokta Makros?
Just great machines, really. I mean, I've watched numerous videos. I had a Garrett beforehand, which I loved. Absolutely brilliant. Just thought I'd upgrade. Saw the Simplex last year. Got it when it first came out. Great. Literally first time out with it on detecting the wheel dig. Literally the first time I used it, I found a Lizzie first hammered. So I know you're going to walk over
which we can see straight away now.
So
the centre of the screen is that's on the scales. That'll be your point you found.
No. That's sorry. That was with the Simplex. That was with the Amphibio. That I found that yesterday.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, the first.
Okay.
The Simplex. The first time I used the Simplex, I found a hammy. But that was the pretty much. I think like the third time I used the Amphibio, I found that yesterday, which was this coin, which is. Oh, is it there? There you go.
There it is. Back a bit.
See that?
That's better. Perfect. Yeah.
And it's absolutely. I mean, it's almost as thick as a £2 coin.
So hell it is, isn't it?
I think Alex Bliss is giving me some info on it tonight, which I'm very happy with.
Alex, for people who don't know, Alex Bliss is former FLO down south somewhere. Sorry, Alex, not 100% sure, so I'll just say down south somewhere. So you're enjoying the Nokta Makro range then?
Amazing. The Amphibio is just. I mean, I've had, since my dad and I, who I detect with a lot, he's 73, so we get out detecting mostly every other week. We don't get out loads, because I've got a little girl and this and that. But every other week, and we went out properly for the first time together on Sunday, and it was probably the second time I'd used the Amphibio, and I was on a permission I'd had for probably the last 18 months, and it was crazy. I pulled out silver thimbles, pulled out a little George sixpence. Little George sixpence. 2 silvers, a crotal bell. I had my first crotal bell with the Amphibio. So it's just been absolute. This week has been mental, and obviously I found this as well. This is my first find last night. A little. Can you see that?
Yeah.
A little eddy there. So I had that first. Then I had that. I was only at 2 hours with it. Literally 2 hours. It was crazy.
And it's just like we've all been saying for quite a long time now. Even though we have not been able to go out during the coronavirus, things are still left to be found, and you've proven that this week.
Exactly. Just patience. I know everybody's been wanting to get out, but we stuck by it, and it made it even more exciting as well. I love spending time with Dad as well, and it was awesome. Honestly, I could have cried last night. It was honestly that. Well, I think Luke's got a video, but it was that special. It was brilliant. The best 2 finds I've ever had, and it's pretty much kind of our first proper dig after lockdown. So,
I mean, I've been lucky myself. I've been out at the Simplex today. A chap in work invited me along to one of his, over the road from his house, basically, in Staffordshire. And the site had a lot of high hopes. It ended up being full of pop cans in aluminium foil. But when I waded through the river and had to play in the river with the Simplex, which was fantastic, and it was getting hits. Sadly, I wasn't in the correct attire to go any deeper. But, as soon as I got the other side of the river near the house, I was pulling out coins, and it was fantastic. So, and, I even tried with the Simplex, Simon, to play with it like I would another machine, to try altering the settings and fiddling with it. And there wasn't any need. It's there and it's done already. It was the whole simple vibe for me is just give it that.
I mean, for a beginner machine, it's absolutely phenomenal. Like I say, the first time I took that out on one of the club digs, and I was feeling really poorly that day as well. And I remember Kevin Marchesi, he was running the dig that day, and I pulled out and I said I wasn't going to come today. I literally wasn't going to come. I felt so ill. This good few months back. And but by the time I got there, a bit of fresh air, felt all right. Third signal, Lizzie the first. I was just like, wow. It was just so, and I was like, this machine's awesome. I mean, I know it's not just the machine, but for me, it's just proved it now with the Amphibio as well and the Simplex. I think, it's no brainer for me.
You've got a perfect combination for what you need.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I've got 2 machines myself, and I think I don't need any other than the Simplex, to be fair, currently. It's for what I do and the amount of times I'm able to generally get out due to work. Obviously, things are different at the moment. It's plug and play. It's there. There's no bother with it. It does everything that you need it to do. I still need it. Go on.
Yeah, I was saying the new update as well, which is obviously phenomenal, I think.
Yeah.
So the new update's brilliant. So, but yeah, I definitely, like I say, I always use half and half. I do half a day. Sometimes I put the Simplex on first, and then I'll do the Amphibio in the afternoon. But I always take both of us. So, and I always give the opportunity for the landowners as well that I've got. I always bring it just in case they want a little go themselves.
Yeah.
So,
good call.
Just give them the opportunity. So, which I haven't yet. They say they want to, but they haven't had a go yet. But,
do you know the first time out that I went last week after the restrictions were lifted? I got all the way to the site. I walked about half a mile, realised I didn't have my spade. Walked back my car, got my spade because it's been that long. I forgot what to take. Got my spade, walked back, got to the place where I was detecting, realised I didn't have something else. Me trowel. Forgot that. Can't be arsed going back with that. So. But the other problem at the moment is the ground conditions for this time of the year. It's absolutely solid, given how flooded it was before we started.
Yeah, big time. I mean, that's what was great last night, because we went out. It was a new permission we had as well. So, and the ground was it was all ploughed, which is amazing. So it was really weird because Dad and I went out with our machine with the Amphibio on an old permission of ours on Saturday, and it was really weird. Sometimes you get those big, loud, banging tones. You get it on all machines. But they show they're at the surface. Then you start digging down slightly, and it gets deeper and deeper. And it's going to be a big lump of iron, right? So I kind of mastered that with the Amphibio on Saturday, and I was like, right, I'm not digging that, blah blah blah, because I knew what the ground was like. And the last night, I started doing that, and then I wasn't finding stuff, and I thought, well, I'm going to dig these signals that are showing they're right on the top. Honestly, everything I found was just laying on the surface. The eddy, that big coin. yeah, they were just laying on the surface. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was just literally scratching my finger. I didn't even have to dig. I just went like that. I was just sitting there. It was awesome.
Adrian Gaylor asks, what's your favourite feature of the new Simplex update?
Favorite feature? Probably the new part mode on it. I expect. I think it's yeah. I think that feature. So
Don't you hate it when people put you on the spot?
I do, yeah. In all fairness, it's just great. Like you say, it's just switch on and go. So it's perfect. You know, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Well, we do have our guest of the evening here, and we'll bring her on now so you can say hello to her and give her any feedback you want to as well. One of my favourite people in the entire world of metal detecting. Good evening, Dilek.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. Well, what's a fantastic look with the hair tonight over the eye.
No.
Are you well?
Say that again.
Are you well?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing? Hi, Simon, by the way.
Hi, Dilek. How you doing? All right? Nice to meet you.
Good. Nice to meet you. Your name sounds very familiar. Have you emailed? I think you may have emailed me in the past.
I have, and like I say, you're awesome. Yeah, I had the Simplex off you, and I did have a 40 coil first, but you were absolutely amazing, and it was no problem at all. I think within probably a week or two, I had my replacement coil, and it's been awesome since then. So.
Oh, good to hear. And and I've been listening about your finds and all that. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy that you're enjoying both the MPV and the Simplex, actually. A good combination.
Both brilliant. I'm trying to talk the wife into letting me have the Invenio.
So am I. Yeah, that's me too.
But yeah, no, it's brilliant.
How have you been, Dave? Good. How are you guys doing with the corona situation?
Well, we've started to come out of lockdown in the UK now. As you know, in the UK, we've got England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. I'm not sure what's happening in Northern Ireland, but Wales have allowed people to start going out as of yesterday. Scotland, I believe, people are starting to get out of tomorrow. But we've been for about 2 weeks in England now. We've been... able to go out metal detecting. So my second time out today with the Simplex.
How did you like that?
I absolutely adore it. I've just been saying to Simon, it's plug and play. For me, as you know, Dilek, I'm not the greatest when it comes to technology. So as it says on the hat, that way even, knock the X off, and it's that. It's simple. It's so easy to use. Yeah.
Knock the expert part out, right?
I'm finding things. I went out today. The person I was with had a different machine, on exactly the same land, and I was finding coins, and he found nothing. And he was even going over the holes that I was going over with the other machine, not being able to generate the same signal. So it's perfect for what I need, Dilek. It's a fantastic machine, and one of my work colleagues, Jonah, as we'll call him, he's watching tonight, and on the back of me telling him, and on the back of hearing your voice on the previous podcast, he's going out to buy one this week as his first machine.
Great. And you have the latest version, right? 2.77?
I'm not 100% sure. I have to check on that, but I'll do that this week. That won't be a problem. I'm sure I'll...
When you turn it on, when you turn the machine on, the version, you'll see the version on the, I think, left bottom corner.
I'll do it now, and then we'll know. Simon, speak amongst yourselves.
Yo. Yeah, like I say, definitely very, very chuffed with the Nokta machines, Dilek. Absolutely brilliant. Like I say, yesterday I went out 2 hours, pretty much the best detecting of my life. So it's absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. So I'm waiting to hear back about obviously the coin. I suppose you probably see, but yeah, it looks like it could be quite special. So very special.
And I heard you saying you like the new park mode, right?
Yes, yeah, I do. Yeah, just listen the whole machine. I think it's great. I mean, the numerous updates that you've done, I just think are brilliant for the value of the machine. Absolutely amazing. So it's been absolutely brilliant.
Well, we have some customers who don't think so, and I think they're just like, it's like actually Simplex now with this new update is like a new machine. Okay.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, just think like you never had a Simplex and you just bought a Simplex and you're like, you have a new learning curve right now. So some people are having a hard time adjusting to the new update, but the majority are loving it. And that's why we did it. We knew like people were going to love this update because it's actually more than an update with the extra depth, the extra mode, with all the new functions added to it. So it's like actually another machine. And for those people who are not liking it and who want to go back, I advise you guys not to go back. Please be patient with your update. I'm sure you will love it in time. Because if you go back, you're not going to be able to use our optional coils that we're going to release soon. So give it some time. And if you have any questions or if you have any concerns, just contact me, contact Nokta Makro, and we'll help you out.
The best customer service from any company on the market today, without a doubt.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely.
It's not just me who says that, Dilek. I'm sure there'll be people in the comments who will totally agree with that. Most of the companies, you can't get in contact with anybody of consequence in any way, shape, or form. It's generally through the likes of Ragdens and LP that you have to communicate. But obviously, yourself, it's can't get better. Go Nokta Makro.
Yeah, I'm just not myself. Because my team actually is doing a great job answering all the emails that we're getting as well. But to me, it doesn't matter. It's either me or one of my team members. Somebody will definitely help you out. Okay, if you're not getting a response from it, sometimes, like very rarely, I see a message saying, I emailed them and I didn't get a response. Just either we never got that email for some reason because it happens, or people are being a little bit impatient sometimes. But I mean, we really see it as part of our job, because if you like when you say sales and marketing, it's all about customers. So unless you're responsive to your customers, to me, then you're not really a sales and marketing person. So to me, it's really part of the job.
I'm making notes as I go here because I've got questions coming in. There's several people have made comments. Nate Williams has said, thanks for the replacement machine. Dilek, you are amazing. No one else replaces a machine. Simplex is amazing. 2.77 is amazing. Keep trying. Yeah, I've just put him on. It was V2.76, so I'm up to date, aren't I?
No, you said 7.6? Yeah. No, you have to. Well, the only difference between the 7.6 and 7.7 is okay. So the actual update was 2.76. Okay. Then some people complain that because we did an optimization on the volume with the wired headphones, and some people said the volume was too low. So, and the initial reason why we had done that update was because some people were complaining that it was too loud. So now, we have a group of people that were saying it was too loud. Then we did an update. Then people started, some others started to complain that it was too low. So we gave another update, literally, I think 2 days later or something, 2 or 3 days, I don't know. And we gave both options to the customers, high and low. When we said, please choose. So that's the only difference. And sorry, one more, mute function. That's the biggest actually change in the 2.77. If you have interference with your pinpointer, because many people who are using the not our pinpointer, well, even our Nokta pointer interferes with it, but not the pulse type. People who were using other branded pinpointers were getting interference when they turned their pinpointer on, and they were not happy that we didn't resolve this in the update. And we were trying to explain to them that this is not something that could be easily resolved in an update. But then one of our customers, I think his name was Ed, he suggested that we add a mute function. So before they turn their pinpointer on, they can just mute the detector, which was a great idea, and we applied it. So you have the latest one, except for those two functions, the audio adjustment, low and high, and the mute function.
Well, I certainly need that, because as I found today, I was going to throw my pinpointer in the river because of the interference it was causing. So that'll be fantastic for me. Jack Chafin asks, Si, would you recommend him using the Simplex as a first timer with no clue about metal detecting at all?
Well, this is pretty much my nephew. So yes, Jack, my Simplex is always there for you to use, mate, if you want to borrow it.
So Jack, you can trial Simon's, and I would totally agree that for a beginner or first timer, the Simplex machine is perfect. You know, you can work your way into any other direction you wish to go from there. Although currently I don't believe I'd need another one. So go for it. But try Uncle Simon's first.
They're amazing, Jack. They're amazing. I always show him all my finds, so he knows what the Simplex can pick out. So it's awesome.
Hire as well in the chat to Kev Roach, Kev Whitmore, Adrian Gaylor, Digger Dawn, Sky Jackson, Bob Hope, and Nick West, Pettigan, Tony Kaywood, and everyone else in there. Oh, and Scott and Kimmy DeBay, I think's in there as well. So hi to everybody. Well, Si, we'll let you go now. It's been a pleasure having you on, and fantastic to see them coins. Much appreciated. If you want to come back on in the future and discuss anything else, give Luke a shout and we'll sort that out. No problem.
Thank you very much.
We can even get your nephew on to give a review of the Simplex.
Cheers, Dilek. Keep up the good work as well, yeah?
Nice meeting you, Simon. Take care. Good luck.
Take care. See you later.
Take care, Simon. Thanks again. Do you know, we've chatted multiple times in the past, Dilek, and I didn't have to actually come up with any questions today because Luke's got a bundle of questions that he wanted to ask. So really? I've printed them all out, so I've got Luke's questions tonight. So I'm interviewing you by proxy for Luke. So I'll get on with the first question then. Nokta Makro or Nokta and Makro detectors have really risen over the last 3 years or so to be very dominant players in the industry with the new machines and new innovations. In such a competitive marketplace, how do you feel Nokta Makro has achieved this?
Hard work, passion and hard work. That's about it.
And that should be life in general.
Yeah, exactly. And but it's me and my team. But I'll speak on my behalf and my team, on my behalf of myself and my team. Let me tell you this. Go a couple of years back, like Luke said, not too long, even let's say 4 or 5 years ago. I remember when Nokta Makro name was mentioned to any of our big competitors, they would either make faces or they would just go, who, what, Nokta Makro, who are they? You know, like, I'll be very honest with you, they wouldn't even see us as a competitor. And back in those days, I would always tell, you know, we're at the stage where I actually feel very proud, Dave, that even, you know, at a live event, that's actually saying, yes, Nokta Makro is a big competitor now and is a key player, and you know that we have to compete with them now. So we're very proud, and we've achieved this by, like I said, 2 things: passion and hard work, and of course, which I actually put on top of everything, our customers who believed in us, who trusted us, and who took us where we are today.
Fantastic answer, especially when that brand is comparing their new machine to your other machine. That's what you want, isn't it? At the end of the day, when you get mentioned in the same breath by people who have always been historically more better known brand. So yeah, it's fantastic. He also asked about the merger between Nokta and Makro, the more of the coming back together of Nokta and Makro. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for us, please?
Basically, that was end of 2014. Yes, end of 2014. So basically, prior to 2014, Nokta and Makro were two separate companies. Two separate metal detector manufacturers owned by two brothers who were competing with each other. And then one of the brothers, the older brother, decided to, leave the industry back then, and then sold the company to the younger brother, who was the owner of Nokta, basically. And then we merged. And for a while, that was up until one of the, which detectable was it? I think was 2018 detectable. We kept the brands separate. We were the same company, but we marketed products under two separate brands, Nokta detectors and Makro detectors. But then, to me, actually, it was really a waste of resources trying to feed two brands with, similar machines. So we decided, I think it was 2018, we decided to merge the brands, and then we couldn't really decide whether to call it Nokta or Makro. And because some people were familiar with Nokta, some were, more familiar, or they liked Makro more. So we said, let's just call it Nokta Makro, like Hewlett Packard, whatever. And then, then we just merged the names as well, and then became Nokta Makro.
Perfect answer again. Obviously, I knew of what had transpired, but obviously we've got, with this broadcast being a lot more set in stone than it was, we've got a lot more viewers and listeners now. So obviously they don't know the questions that we spoke about before. So marvelous.
I don't mind talking and answering the same question over and over again. It's just sometimes I feel like the listeners, may get bored when we talk about the same things. That's my only concern. Other than that, I don't really care. I can answer.
I don't get bored, so we'll be right. He also asks about the Envinio, something perhaps not for the everyday detectorist, but an amazing machine. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, and have there been any success stories since it's been released with it?
Here's the thing, Invenio, it's not, it's not really, you cannot call it a hobby machine, as that would be a very expensive hobby machine. So basically, it's really aimed at, it's geared towards finding deeper and larger, like big hoards, big treasures. So if you're just a regular coin hunter looking for a hammered coin, obviously you're not going to be, using the Invenio. So what it does is it actually, you see everything live on screen on the Invenio, every movement of the coil, where you scan. When you're doing the scan, for example, when you're swinging your coil, it actually colors the area that you're swinging. So this way you're actually even seeing the spots that you're missing, that you can see it on screen, where you covered, where you couldn't cover. And then once you hit a target, once you get a signal, then you can actually go into the scan mode and go over that target and kind of get a 3D shape extraction of the target. So it's a unique machine. It also utilizes artificial intelligence. So the more you use it, the more targets you find with it, it learns, and it actually becomes more productive, so to say. So it, like big treasure hunters who want to spend money obviously buy it. Many archaeologists are, interested in it and they buy it, and some utility companies actually buy these type of devices. But of course, it's an expensive machine because a lot of research and development went into it. It's really unique, and the goal is hopefully one day to really bring this down to a more affordable, more hobby machine level, hopefully.
Have there been any success stories?
What's that?
Have there been any success stories that you've had feedback from clients?
Yes, we had, but I'll be very honest with you. The majority of the customers that we sell these products to are in South America and Middle East area and America. So the biggest portion of our sales go to America, South America, and Middle East. We had a success story come out from the from Middle East. However, they wouldn't really share too many details, or they denied to share pictures due to, obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing hoard that was found in a Middle Eastern country that was worth a lot. let me put it that way.
And I bet you that was for yourselves at Nokta Makro. I bet you put a smile on your face there.
Yes, but the thing is, Dave, you really, like, when you hear these things, you want to share it. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of it. You know how, for example, Simon came, and showed his finds and all that. That's the beauty of it. So when you cannot really share it, then the, excitement is not there too much.
I'm with you. The Amphibio remains the daddy of the Nokta Makro machines for the everyday detectorist. Any plans for developments of that machines or newer versions?
Amphibio?
Yeah.
Yes, because yes, we are. But here's the thing, Dave. And I think I mentioned this before. Now that we have given some updates to the Simplex, some of our amphibian cruiser users seem to be unhappy and upset that, they think that we're ignoring the cruiser or the amphibian. I keep on saying no. Amphibio is still our top of the line machine, our flagship machine. But see, the thing is, Simplex, like you said, there's nothing, there is nothing much to play with in the Simplex. You have your settings, yes, but you cannot really change your tones. You cannot, change your tone breaks. You cannot change your frequencies, blah, blah. So it's easier to give an update for a simple machine because there is not much there to begin with. So you can add to it easily. With the Amphibia, actually, we put so much into that machine that it's really hard to update it. So what we're doing is, I actually, on one of the Amphibia groups, asked the question, okay, if we were to give an update on the Amphibia customers, what would you like to see? Now, we're trying to gather some feedback to see if there is really a certain feature that the majority of the users, let me underline that, because sometimes a customer asks for something, but that's only one customer, so we cannot really give customized updates to people. It has to come from the majority of the users for us to really give an update on it. So now we're gathering some feedback, and no promises, but we'll evaluate them, and if we can give any update to make our customers happy, we will. So we'll see.
Fantastic. Onto the Simplex. Has it been as big a hit as you expected it would be?
Yes. Maybe even, but actually maybe more. I don't know. I knew it was going to do well, Dave. From the day we started working on this project, I knew that this machine was the machine that was going to take Nokta Makro to the next level. I knew it. And yeah, I mean, it's been great, and it's still doing great. I mean, it's not like, you know, we released it and, you know, we sold tons and now, no. I mean, like even today, right now in the USA, shops are out of stock.
I've noticed. I put someone onto it the other day, and I was trying to find the link, and there's the wireless headphone version, the plus version. That was all that was available in the UK at that point. So fantastic, and well done to you all at Nokta Makro for achieving
Thank
that
you.
success. And as I said earlier, you know, the feedback that I get and that Luke gets is that when anybody does have a concern or an issue, you know, it's sorted straight away. Even when it comes to listening what people want for the updates and adding it. Fantastic.
Thank you.
One of my colleagues from work, Jonah, who's getting the machine, he said, "Is Dilek coming to Detectable?" Because I've been on at him to come to Detectable for the past 2 years. So if we are having a Detectable, you will be there.
Yeah, if we have a Detectable, yes, I would love to be there. I'm there every year. So we'll see with this Corona situation. Hopefully we don't get a, you know, second wave during those months. You never know, but yeah, I would love to come there.
And I will introduce you late, and don't worry about that. And on to Detectable. No, I've got a question before that, sorry. Back to the Simplex. You mentioned earlier about coils and sizes, and we've had a few comments in the live comment box about that. Can you tell us about what we're going to be looking at regarding coils and the sizes in the coming months?
Sure. Okay, so many customers have been waiting for these optional coils, and you know, again, some are pretty upset. They think that they're delayed, whatever. But let me explain you why we couldn't release them before. Because these new coils, the optional coils, we were waiting for the new software to be finalized and the new update, version 2.76 to be finalized first before we could release them. And the reason for that is these coils will only work with version 2.76 and 2.77. So they will not work with with 2.68 or anything prior to that. So now that the update is released, we're actually pretty much done with the field tests as well. Okay. The field test tested, you know, a certain quantity of units. Now production is actually literally going into a pilot run. We call it a pilot run, where they produce, let's say, 100 of them, 50, 100, whatever. They will get tested. And if those like 50 or whatever, 100, I don't know the quantity, I'm just making this up right now, could be a couple of hundreds. If they all test okay, then we will be announcing them. So we're only looking at weeks here, guys. Okay, please be patient, not months, weeks.
And what sizes are you looking at, Dilek?
Oh, initially we're going to be releasing 2 coils, smaller. One of them is, I think I said 9-inch before, but today I got the final measurements. It's like 8.5, okay, round, 8.5-inch round, double D. And the other one is an elliptical one, 9.5 by 5.5, I believe.
Brilliant. And I know there'll be a lot of people looking forward to them. So I'm sure they'll be shipping off the shelves as quick as the machines themselves.
Yes, that's why, you know, I'm telling my production team to stock some before I announce them.
Luke also asks, we see Nokta Makros all over the fields in the UK now, very prominent machine. How are they doing abroad in different countries? Are you having a similar success story in the United States, for instance?
Everywhere, like literally everywhere. I cannot think of a country. I would say, you know, the US definitely a huge increase in brand awareness, sales, Canada, all Europe, I would say without an exception. Russia, Ukraine, you know, Pacific, you know, all like from China to Philippines, you name it, everywhere. So we're very happy, actually.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. Someone's just texted me to say my green screen's wrong. Let me have a fiddle and hope I'm right. I've got a ghost apparently. So if I've got a ghost, let me put that under there. And hope that helps. That might be better. And again, it might. Oh, I am a ghost. Why is my green screen wrong? Oh, I'll just do that. Let it do what it wants. Oh, look at me, I'm ghosting. Let me just have a fiddle with my green screen settings. Oh, there I am. That might be better, hopefully. That looks better. The ghost's gone. Multi-frequency. All manufacturers are looking at them nowadays. What are your thoughts on multi-frequency, and where does Nokta Makro stand at looking at it in the future?
Simultaneous multi-frequency. It's in demand, but I'll say this again and again. Simultaneous multi-frequency, guys. I mean, we have a huge engineering team. We are a manufacturer. Yes, there will be scenarios and places where you will have an advantage of a simultaneous frequency machine, but there will be many other scenarios where you will really not have any advantages of a simultaneous frequency machine over a single frequency. So it all depends on so many factors, you know, from ground to environment to the target to you name it. So we have one in the works, and I've mentioned this on many platforms before. And the reason why we actually started working on the project was because of the big demand coming from our own customers saying, hey, Nokta Makro, we love you, we love your product. Could you please, you know, give us a simultaneous frequency machine? So yes, we have one in the works. But of course, at this point, I cannot really discuss any details. Yeah, we're working on it, and people will see it hopefully sooner than later.
Well, I'm quite happy with the simplex. Don't be giving me any of them multi-frequency malarkey. I can't understand it. I'm happy where I am now. I found my level.
It's not going to be as simple as the simplex. You know, you would have to, you know, play with it a little bit.
I said before, Dilek, with the machine today, I tried to play with it. I thought, right, I'm going to have a play with it. And I didn't have to, because there's nothing I needed to play with. And it was mind-boggling that was the case. All right, I need to change a few things to suit me personally, the machine, how I listen to it and that. But there was nothing to do. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do now. There's nothing to play with. But I've been in the garden playing, and well, we've got a patio, and I've tried different things of it. And as I say, there was just no need to do anything. I turned it on, and there you go. Off I went. Quite happy.
Indeed. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but speaking of that, that's why actually now, like, we get so many emails, I get so many messages from customers, right? So they love the simplex, but they want more settings and more features, you know, like they want to be able to change their tone breaks. They want to change the frequency of their tones and all that. So they're asking if we could do all this in an update, in the next update. Technically, the answer is yes. You know, we could give more settings. We could do all this, but the idea of the simplex is to keep it simple, guys. So if we start adding all these extra settings and features, then, you know, simplex, I mean, it's not going to fit the name. It's not going to suit the name. It's not going to be simple anymore. It's not going to be a machine that's suitable for a beginner anymore. And we don't want that. We really want simplex to stay simple for a beginner, yet, you know, powerful enough for an expert. That's where the name comes from, simple and expert, okay? And we want to keep it that way. That's why, you know, we cannot really accommodate all these requests and, you know, needs for all these extra features and, you know, settings. And I hope people would understand that.
We mentioned detectable earlier on, and we also discussed the Invenio. Now, you know where I'm going with this straight away, don't you? The curious case of the buried Dilek. Who come up with that idea?
I did.
And Luke asks,
I did, but listen to this. I came up with the idea because, see, I'm the marketing person, so I'm the head of marketing. So I come up with all these marketing ideas and all that. But at that, like when I came up with the idea, I didn't know that it was going to be me who was going on there.
So for those who don't know, the Invenio launch at Detectable 2018. We're all there. We're all looking. It was all partitioned off so nobody could see what happening. For it's going to be something going on here, and everything was removed. And then they started the launch, and no sign of Dilek. So one of your colleagues is working away with the Invenio, showing us all of the features underground, which was, for me, fantastic. And then he came to what's this? And out of the ground popped you. Was it warm?
Yeah. You know what? We were all up all night the night before, trying to, we had to do, practices, rehearsals, and we were up all night. And I remember it was so freezing, Dave. It like the whole night, how many times I went into that hall and we had to practice it to make sure everything was going to be okay. And I was fine. But let me tell you this. When, they actually put me underground and they said, okay, we're going to remove the, what do you call those? We're going to open up the, those dividers, whatever you call them. Now you cannot make a noise anymore. You cannot move anymore. I got stressed. and I'm like waiting now because I don't know, like, how much oxygen is going to be in there, how long I can stay in there, when the show is going to start. I'm like, what if they don't start right away? What if, something happens and they don't start and I'm stuck here, But once I heard the music playing, that the show was starting, then it was relaxed. It was hot, by the way, underneath there. I sweated.
It was topped the year later with the Simplex and the launch of the Simplex, and along came, and I take it again, this is your idea then, a mermaid.
Yeah.
And no one knew what was happening, and obviously we had the launch of another competitor's machine, the event sponsors this year, and let's say that Nokta Makro's you managed to trump the other company with the mermaid. I think there was more people excited about the mermaid than the other show later on.
I think so. And let's not kid ourselves. I mean, everybody knew, that there was going to be a release there and what it was about, So I was thinking, right? I'm like, okay, my competitor is releasing a machine. It's, at a similar price point. And I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking to myself, there is my Simplex. What's my biggest, one of my biggest or advantages and differences is that it's fully submersible. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I said, I need to show this to the public that it's fully submersible. Then I'm like, okay, I was thinking of, okay, aquarium. Then I'm like, how about a mermaid? And then thanks to Pete, I contacted Pete. I'm like, Pete, what do you think of this? And he said, yeah, it's a great idea. And then we found the company, just Googled it and found the company online, Mermaid Show Company in the UK. And then, and I think it was really brilliant.
So was Pete's reaction really, yeah, we'll go with it? Or was there another reaction that we're not? Was there a case of, Dilek, what are you on about? Was it nothing like that?
No, actually, Pete is always very supportive. Pete is great. I'm so happy to have Pete as our distributor, and we get along so well. And I think we think alike, and in terms of like marketing and launching a product. So he's very supportive. I mean, I make the guy, do extra work, but he didn't complain so far. So I think it's all good.
Yeah, and Pete, I can fully agree with what you say, your sentiments there. He's been brilliant with myself and Luke as well. He's really been supportive of the magazine since our launch, as of yourself, obviously. We've worked together on numerous occasions now, professionally, and it's been a joy for both myself and Luke to work with LP and Nokta Makro. Another thing, in fact, hold on a minute, I'm going to have to do this, aren't I now? Gonna have to change apps. One of the other things that was discussed, let's say, when you were stood on a table at Detectival, was the mini hoard. Have we got any information regarding the outcome of when that's going to be released?
Sure. Mini hoard is actually in the hands of testers around the world as we're speaking. So there are a few people who are testing it in the UK right now, as well as in many countries, America, South America, everywhere. I've sent, quite a big number of test samples around, and we have gotten, I would say, the majority of the feedbacks back already. So far, so good. No failures, no issues, no defects. So it's looking really great in terms of like the feedbacks and the performance. And actually, it's been tested both by adults and kids. So of course, the feedbacks from the kids to me, were very important. They're loving it. You have no idea how happy I am. Like I'm always getting like messages. Oh, my niece is hooked on it. My, nephew is loving it. So, and I think it's really gonna bring a lot of newcomers to this industry, and that's the whole purpose behind the mini hoard. And we're talking about little kids. It's really aimed for kids. I would say 4 and up to 8, 9 years old. And so yeah, it's in testing. I'll be very honest with you, I'm working on the box design right now. We're gonna go to print soon, and my production is getting ready for production in a couple of weeks. So excellent. It shouldn't be too long before we make the announcement.
Brilliant. Well, let's face it, I mean, the competition at that range is National Geographic and Discovery and Power Rangers. They're the only types of machine that are suitable for children of that age. So to bring something that is an introduction to the hobby for the younger generation, again, it's kudos for that as well. I can't wait to get the boy one.
Thank you. And believe me, I mean, the depth is there. Like, for example, it has a pinpoint function, which many people were surprised because, like at that level, at those price points, you don't really have pinpoint function. We put a pinpoint function. There is iron discrimination, and yeah, so it's a little cute, real detector, and it's waterproof. So once again, we're going to be releasing the first waterproof kids detector on this market. So we're gonna hit another first in the industry, hopefully soon.
Well, today I've been out with the Simplex, as I said, and there was a river running through the site. So Luke's talked me into starting to make videos detecting. The first one I've done the other week. I've made the second one today. So I have a little paddle in the water with it. But later on, I went in a lot deeper to a degree. Sadly, it was a little bit too deep for me to actually get underwater, considering what I was wearing. But it was so nice today with the temperature in the UK at the moment. My head was plunged in straight away. And obviously the machine, perfect, not a problem. I didn't want to get my phone out and video that side of it because I am a galoot and the phone would have ended up swimming away on me. So there is a paddle and there is a bit machine in the water, but I can confirm that the Simplex and water, it works. And I had a competitor's 150 5 or 6 years ago, and I placed it on the bank to my right-hand side, not realising that the river was as close as it was, and it rolled down the river and didn't work again. So, again, the Simplex for novices who will make mistakes like I made. It's a perfect machine in that respect.
Yeah, and the reason why we wanted to make the kids detector, and believe me guys, it's not very easy to make a waterproof detector, fully submersible detector at these price points. But the reason why we wanted to make the kids detector also waterproof is that, you know, I mean, many people, these kids love to play on the beach. You know what I mean? When I say waterproof, it's fully submersible, but of course, it's submersible up to 3 feet because we don't want it to be deeper for the kids, okay? So the idea is for small kids to be able to, you know, dump it in the water, or if they accidentally, you know, drop it in the water, you know, you don't lose the machine, because we know kids love to play with water and on the beach. So yeah, I think they're gonna love it. I love it.
I love it. I loved it when I first saw it.
It's cute. It's so cute.
I mean, the Simplex, going back to that again, when you take the shaft down into itself, it's just about the right size for my 7-year-old, who's a big lad. He's very tall for his age. It's just, it's short, its length. It's just about big enough for him. But obviously, it's ungainly with the box and what have you. He can't do what he could do with the Horde. So I'm sure there's a lot. I know Luke as well, his twin daughters, he's very excited to be able to let the twins metal detecting with the mini Horde as opposed to something else. So I do know a lot of people, and Adrian Gaylor says the mini Horde will be a #1 bestseller when it comes out for sure. And I'm sure it will, given the amount of parents in the UK who go metal detecting that want the children to do the same, or the children want to do the same.
Yeah. And one more thing, the mini Horde, like I said, is aimed at kids between 4 to 8, 9. And Simplex, we're, you know, saying any kids, let's say like 12 and above, we believe can, you know, swing the Simplex as well. So, you know, there's a gap in between from 8 to 9 to 12. So I think we may squeeze another one in there, but I'll keep that as a surprise, okay?
Tony Kaywood says it's the right size for Scotty B, and I could certainly say that would be the case. Scotty B's only little, which I've just got to reply to him now. So I do apologise before he says anything else.
Oh, mini Horde.
There you go, the mini Horde. Look at that. Tony Kaywood just messaged you, so there you'll know, and that conversation won't continue on the live comments. He also asks, Luke, about yourself now. What is your actual job? What do you do? And how long have you been doing it for Nokta Makro?
What's my actual job? Okay, I'm the director of sales and marketing. So obviously I'm heading the sales department as well as the marketing department. What's my job? My job is to sell. My job is to market. My job is to make the customers happy. My job is to increase our brand awareness. My job is to find, new markets, new, opportunities. But I do a lot more than that. Normally, I mean, this would be, the, main responsibilities of, sales and marketing person, but I'm actually very much involved with the product development part of it. And that's because I'm so much involved with the customers and users that I'm kind of a bridge between my engineering team and the customers, taking, what's happening out there or what people are requesting, and how we can work, what we can come up with to, answer, to respond to those requests or to competition or to whatever is going on in the industry, and how we can actually provide better and more affordable products to the customer. So what I do is, for example, just to give you an example, I mean, of course, we have our sales stuff, orders and all that, I check and manage, whatever. Of course, I talk to my main distributors all the time, around the world. On the marketing side, I really do a lot from concept to commercialization, from the name of the product to the box design to the actual text, on the boxes, the copy, from all the advertising in the magazines to rallies, to forums, answering, being involved in forums, to Facebook groups, to a lot. I don't know, like even the screen designs, for example, like what you see on that mini horde screen, it's myself and my team that come up with that. And we sit down with the engineers and go over the scenario, saying, okay, this button should be pinpoint, this button should do this, everything. The only thing I don't do probably at the company is, production.
And I bet you've thrown your hand in there semi-regularly as well.
Say that again?
I think you probably helped out there in the past as well.
With the production?
Yeah.
There were times where it was so busy, okay, that I offered my help. But let me tell you this, I'm one of the few females in the company. They treat me like a, princess. They don't let me, do stuff in production. They're like, come on, with all the men around, come on.
Laurent Bonnet, I apologize if I've pronounced that incorrectly. He asks, what about a concentric coil for the Simplex? We discussed earlier, there's a 9.5 by 5.5 elliptical coil currently in testing, and an 8.5 double D coil in testing as well. So they should be the ones coming out sooner rather than later. Does that sound about right?
Both, by the way, they're both double Ds. So I think
right.
he's asking for a concentric coil. We don't have one planned. We'll see how these two coils work out for the customers. If there is any demand for other additional coils, we'll evaluate it. But we really think these two coils should make the majority of the customers happy. But we'll see. We'll see how they do and what customers say, and if they're happy, and if there's any need for any more additional shape and size or type coils, we'll work on it.
Do you know, when I've been out this 2 times the last couple of weeks with the Simplex, I've had one issue, which will be because I'm used to other machines. The first one, I keep going to click a trigger underneath to pinpoint, where obviously the pinpoints are different. So I'm like, where's the pin? And the other one, on another machine I've used in the past, I've pressed the central thumb button, which of course is the power. So I've turned it off 3 times today trying to pinpoint.
You get used to it, though. That was one of
I know.
When we first released it, that was one of the complaints. And actually, like one customer wrote, I think I read it somewhere. It made me laugh. They said, "Oh my God, they got the pinpointer button wrong, like wrong." I'm like, there's no right, wrong. It's just people are so used to having it under, like in the middle. Which yeah. I understand. It's more convenient maybe, but the way we designed the functions of those buttons, that was the best one. But like in the, for example, the next machine that we're gonna release, like we have it in the middle. So it depends on the model and the functions of the model, how many functions we have, this, that, but yeah. But you get used to it, believe me.
Oh, absolutely. As I said, it was just a classic case of me turning the machine off when I was trying to pinpoint and then swearing a lot at myself and then realizing it's in the other place. But I got used to it. By the end of the day, I wasn't doing it. It was just, as I say, it was just totally down to machines I've used in the past. So there
You
was
know,
hilarious memory.
I personally love, and I know many customers do, like those those pinpoint triggers, like the one we have in the Impact. That's what I love. And I wish we could do that in every machine, but because of the, submersible, waterproofness, it's not that easy. So.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Obviously, with the trigger, there's got to be a hairline that'll allow water into it. So that makes perfect sense. The final question I've got from Luke, before I ask anybody else if they've got any questions, if they want to start writing them down, and I'll come back to them. He says, without prying, and we understand that you're very, very passionate about Nokta Makro and you're very recognisable to everyone in the hobby, but what do you do outside of detecting? What hobbies, if any, do you have outside of work?
I'll be very honest with you. I have very little time outside of work. I'm a workaholic. That's what my husband says, and I accept it. I have work and I have my family. I don't really have much time for anything else other than this past period with the corona. I'll be very honest with you. Like these past 6 weeks were the first 6 weeks in my life, because we had lockdowns every weekend for the past 5 or 6 weekends, not like the whole time, weekends. That was the first time I could actually find time to do anything other than, work or, spend time with my family and to do something for myself. I don't really have hobbies. My hobby is my job. I'm sorry, guys, but it's what it is. I'll be very honest with you. I don't want to, just to look, good or whatever. I cannot come up with anything. It's either my work or my family. I don't have time for anything else. I literally do work at night. Like I come home, I spend time with my little daughter. I have a 7-year-old daughter. So I have a responsibility, towards her to spend time with her because she misses mommy, because mommy works all the time. So I spend time with her. And then once she goes to sleep, I literally, I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. I sit down in front of my computer most of the time. I would say 90% of the time, except for maybe a Saturday night. And I read forums. I read Facebook groups. I answer messages, work. I don't really have a hobby. And on the weekend, I try my best to spend time with my family because I owe it to them. And I used to have hobbies, not anymore. But I'm happy this way. Believe me, I'm happy with Nokta Makro.
And I'm sure you'll have enjoyed the past 6 weeks of actually spending time with your family solely as well.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, I just found out maybe my hobby is shopping. I spent so much money on online shopping. Literally, there's a package coming to my house every single day. My husband is about to lose his mind, but it's just I did so much for my house, for my home. Organized it, and I enjoyed it. And I haven't done this maybe in years, and I just realized that I actually love my house. That's what I realized, and I made it prettier. And so that was an interesting 6 weeks. Now this weekend is the last weekend we're gonna have with a lockdown, and then hopefully then we're not gonna have any more lockdowns. So we can actually, because we have beautiful weather here too, so we can actually go out too on a weekend.
Well, I think most people, most of you, as myself included, will be having a similar amount of boxes delivered every day from online shopping. In fact, I ordered something just before I come on the show, but that's another story. Hammy Sammy, she says, what was the name of the machine that was mentioned earlier? It's for sale now, and how much is it for the larger items? I think we're talking about the Invenio, which was the basically, it gives you a look at under the ground. So it's like what you'd see on Time Team, where they do with the big things, and then they have the printout, but this gives you an automatic view below the ground. I'm not sure about the price, but it's the INVENIO. So you'll be able to have a look on LP or what have you to find that. So, Dilek, anything else to
Yeah.
throw out there before we depart for this evening?
No, I thank you once again for having me on your show. It's a pleasure, as always. And yeah, so, and I really hope to see each other pretty soon,
So
at
do
the
I.
Tactical.
It's me who keep having to get you on, Dilek. You know what I'm like. Right, I'm having Dilek on tonight.
Oh, Jay, don't worry about it. Anytime, seriously, anytime. I really enjoy it. It gives me a different thing to do other than, checking messages and emails.
Well, as I said at the start of the show, Dilek, of all the people I've met in metal detecting throughout the country, throughout the world, you're up there with one of my favourites. So I love having you on, love speaking to you. And
thank you.
Obviously, I can't wait to see you in the future. Hopefully, detectable. Hopefully, see you in September if we're allowed by then.
And thank you, everybody. I couldn't follow the chat. Whoever is out there, thank you for listening. Nokta Makro loves you guys. And so stay tuned. We're going to have more coming for all of you.
And the metal detecting community loves you too, Dilek.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. Enjoy your last weekend of lockdown before it's all guns blazing and back to normal. And we look forward to all the new things coming out from Nokta Makro in the near future. So thanks again for your time, Dilek. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. So, Dilek from Nokta Makro, I hope you got all your questions across and things answered and got nice information. I'm looking quite green, aren't I, here tonight? Must be the light. I'm looking about hulked up. Not body, unfortunately, just the face. So, yes, as I said earlier, Luke told me I had to start doing more when it comes to metal detecting videos, which I don't like doing because I'm no expert when it comes to metal detecting. I'm just somebody who likes doing it and has a mouth. So, yes, that's up on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, archmdmag.tv, or ArchMDMag on YouTube for anybody who wants to point and laugh at my day out with the Simplex, which, to be fair, the site that I was on was Ridge and Furrow, Medieval Ridge and Furrow. And you can actually see that on the video itself, as well as I've put a LiDAR image within it. Thank you, TC, for teaching me all about LiDAR. It's been very helpful. So thank you one and all tonight, everybody in the chat room, and obviously to Luke behind the scenes, and Laura for messaging me to tell me I was a ghost. Thank you all, and we will see you next week. Take care.
And I went over to show them.
Sorry, it's DJ.
I think this is what people or toy shop. A little bit cool about the situation.
I think have you actually been involved?
I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.